Video guys, we got one here that is pretty funny and it's relating to the SNP and their virtue signalling over the current situation that is going on both in the UK and in America, though to a lesser degree in the UK, thankfully. We all see the reports the other day of the so-called 15,000 people in Hyde Park, which I still doubt was 15,000 people, but there was a hell of a lot of people there, that is for sure. But obviously, if there was a so-called second wave because of that event there, they won't be blamed for it. Instead, the Prime Minister's chief advisor will be blamed for it for going up to Durham. Because living in reality is not something a lot of people seem to do in this day and age, as was called out by the Tory MP in the House of Commons yesterday, when the SNP's Alison Thewliss decided to do a bit of virtue signalling with some good old-fashioned race baiting like her name was David Lammy. Well, Tory MP Kemi Badenoch absolutely destroyed her and called her out for her virtue signalling nonsense because obviously she has absolutely no idea what she's talking about and was just spouting nonsense that she could promote on social media to make her look oh so virtuous. SNP accused of inflaming racial tensions as furious row breaks out in the House of Commons. SNP's Alison Thewliss was told off in the House of Commons by Conservative Kemi Badenoch as she accused her of inflaming racial tensions and suggested it was for show, as is about 95% of what politicians actually do in this day and age. It's blatantly playing up to social media, if you ask me. Conservative frontbencher Kemi Badenoch hit out at the SNP's Alison Thewliss, asking to abolish a policy that she believes is unfair to black, Asian and minority ethnic backgrounds. The Equalities Minister labelled her comments absolutely wrong and explained different issues must not be merged just so she can receive traction from the press. Speaking in the Commons, Miss Thewliss said, "It's one thing to say that Black Lives Matter, and quite another to force black people and people from BAME backgrounds out to work because they have no other choice than to go to work. They have no recourse to public funds. No recourse to public funds is a racist policy. Will she abolish it now?" Which obviously is a ludicrous statement to make, and Kemi absolutely destroys her for it. Miss Badenoch responded, "I think I must push back on some of the things the Honourable Lady has said. And you know what, rather than me reading through it, let's take a listen to what was actually said."
Speaker, I said to the Secretary of State for Health earlier on in this week that it's one thing to say that Black Lives Matter and quite another to force black people and people from BAME backgrounds out to work because they have no choice other than to go to work because they have no recourse to public funds. No recourse to public funds is a racist policy. Will she abolish it now?
I think I must just push back on some of what the Honourable Lady has said. It is wrong to conflate all black people with recent immigrants and assume, which is what she has just said, that we all have to pay a surcharge. That is wrong. I am a black woman who is out to work. My employers, and this House has done everything it can to make sure that I am following the guidelines and making sure that all of us are. So it is absolutely wrong to try and conflate lots of different issues and merge them into one just so that it can get traction in the press. And I go back to what I said in my original, my original statement. It is not right for us to use confected outrage. We need courage to say the right things, and we need to be courageous, Mr. Speaker, in order to calm down racial tensions and not inflame them just so that we can have something to put on social media.
Well, I've got to say, it is always great seeing these race-baiting MPs getting absolutely destroyed every time they try it. And well done for Kemi calling out exactly what this is, a little bit of social media and press virtue signalling that we have seen far too much of in recent years, especially over the last couple of months, for a variety of different subjects, from the coronavirus to obviously the situation that's going on now, which has made people forget about the coronavirus, it would seem, over in the US. Now, if only more MPs called out the blatant virtue signalling that these people do, in the hopes of getting a few likes on a tweet, because you all know it happens on a daily basis. Take a look at Barry Gardiner the other day, joining the Black Lives Matter protests, ignoring social distancing despite calling out the Prime Minister's chief advisor for breaking lockdown rules in a much less dangerous way. I'm sure anyone would agree. Because not only, as we have seen from that clip and this article there, are the left-wing losers like Labour and the SNP hypocritical, but they're also a race-baiting bunch of losers. I mean, take calling no recourse to public funds a racist policy. No, that is just, if you move to this country, you are not automatically entitled to every benefit and state help under the sun, which is common bloody sense. You don't have to be Albert fucking Einstein to work out that that is how it should be. But obviously, the best line that she come out with and got the SNP shitweasel a little bit salty is, it is absolutely wrong to try and conflate lots of different issues and merge them into one, just so they can get traction in the press. I go back to what I said in my original statement. It's not right for us to use confected outrage, which is what we see a hell of a lot of, because I've said it many times, the media and politicians think that Twitter is real life, when, let me tell you, it's really not. And obviously, her final statement, as it says here in the article, I'm not going to bother reading it, you all heard it at the end of the video, calling out what she is trying to do, which, like I said, is not something you actually hear very often from Tory MPs when Labour or SNP shitweasels for that matter try to pull these little stunts. Because I'll tell you what, if I was an MP, I'd be calling it out every single time they tried to do it. As I'm sure you all know, I can't stand any form of virtue signalling at all. And as the Tory MP went on to say here, Britain is one of the best countries in the world to be a black person, and anyone with half a brain cell would probably agree with that. Because I'll tell you something, the government of this country, the media and the rest of it are certainly not combative towards them, that is for sure. I have seen videos and pictures of police officers taking a knee in front of protesters, so you certainly can't say that the government and the powers that be are not in line with the wokeness of the world in this day and age. She was told one placard at the Black Lives Matter protest in London read, "Being black should not be a death sentence," and was urged to develop a detailed response to coronavirus involving all diverse communities. Well, I'll tell you what, 15,000 people gathering in Hyde Park might make black people slightly more likely to die in from the coronavirus because you're all in close proximity to each other. But the SNP shitweasel obviously didn't think about that when she asked a stupid question. I do have to say, well done to Kemi Badenoch for calling out the SNP shitweasel for exactly what she was doing, rather than ignoring her stupidity and just answering her question with the usual bullshit you hear from politicians. She actually pulled apart what she had said and called her out for her virtue signalling nonsense. As I said, it's a shame we don't hear it more when MPs and media spunk trumpets pull this stunt on a regular, as we know they do. Now before I go, I've started doing live streams and uploading gaming content on my second channel. If you would like to come and join me for a live stream to chat in real time, have an interest in gaming related content on YouTube, or just want to follow me over there because you are a legend, the link will be down in the video description below and as a pinned comment. I hope to see you all there. Now as always, before I go, I want to thank our PayPal, Patreon, Subscribestar and YouTube members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I will see you all in the next one.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going and we are glad to be going.